Hey everybody, Dutch Sense here. 2:33 p.m. Central Time on Saturday, October 19th, 2013. And we're looking at Earthquake 3D here, which is a USGS feed of the most recent earthquakes. You can see it, a 6.5 struck here in Baja, Mexico, north central Mexico, just south of Arizona and California. And we were expecting this. I put out a warning yesterday. And here we are on Facebook. I'll put a link down below to this so you guys can see it. Here it is. Cannot be edited, cannot be changed. I let everyone know this is an area to watch, and I'll just read it to you here. Showing a line of mid 4.0 earthquakes reaching up the eastern Pacific towards Mexico, also south towards Argentina, Chile. Possible larger movement around this cluster developing. Could be on the northern flank of this line, North Mexico, Baja. Also, USA showing west coast activity, but nothing in the Midwest of any size over 2.5. I'd say we most likely need to watch for several fracking injection well earthquakes at about 3 miles deep in the near-term future, next couple days or less. Now here's the picture I shared. It was put out, 123 other people liked it, shared all over the place, and it's multiple 4.0s that reached from South America all the way up here to South Mexico, silent area here in Baja. This led me to say, watch that area. This movement around the area shows that this area here where the silence is occurring is going to be moving and most likely large because it hasn't kept up with the adjacent areas. It's almost like an arrow is pointing right towards the area to watch. Now that's of course not happening, but you can watch this area and see the clusters around there and know that there's going to be follow-up movement. Okay, now let's go look at Earthquake 3D here really quick. In the last 48 hours, 24 specifically, we saw a 2.5 and 2.9 at the fracking operations, 3.7, 3.4, and a 3.7 in Wyoming, near Yellowstone and south of Yellowstone, and then there it is, the 6.5 we were expecting to see. And again, the reason we were expecting to see that is because pressure transfer. I've got geologists coming over to my other videos on my YouTube channel telling me that there is no such thing as pressure transfer, and that earthquakes that happen are unrelated. So when we see a 7.0 happen over here in Sumatra, let's say, and within a few hours we have a 7.0 that happens over here on the East Pacific, let's say down near Colombia, they're saying those two are not related, even though they're on the opposite sides of the same plate. And the plate is obviously moving, and you can see the movement happening if you use programs like this, let's say, or others. You can see the progression of earthquakes. Just take it down over the past few days. Watch them pop off. You can see it building towards this 6.5 right there where it was silent. All of these 4.0s all the way down the entire plate. The pressure there has to be tremendous. And the fracking operation. Again, that's a man-made operation where they're pumping water deep down into the earth. Let's just go ahead and get the stats on this. See if it was at 3 miles, like we were expecting. There you go, 3.1 miles. That's happening because the craton itself is being displaced. Even though geologists will tell us that it's not happening, you can see it happen over the course of days. You can see the earthquakes progress from west to east. Not east to west, it's happening from west to east, which means the subduction itself is not able to keep up with all this movement going on over here in the West Pacific. And that's due to the plate fracture at the Indo-Australian plate that caused this whole thing, this whole mess to begin, 2.5 years ago now. So much love, guys. Hang in there. I just wanted to show you that I did put out that warning. I'm not trying to toot my own horn too hard, but it was put out. This is something that we can all do. We can watch where the earthquake clusters are occurring and then follow up and see if any large-scale movement happens in the areas surrounding those cluster points. It seems to be a pattern at this point, which indicates that the whole theory that's being proposed by the establishment, the professionals, saying that pressure transfer doesn't occur is wrong, and that they need to immediately reassess pressure transfer happening amongst plates because it's obvious that it is happening. This could lead to somebody being able to correctly forecast earthquakes. Imagine if professionals took that into account. That might change everything in the way they're able to predict earthquakes. I would urge you professionals to look into this. How was I able to predict that an earthquake would happen right there in the near term? And I'm not a professional. I'm just online. But I'm trying to show people what I see. I've been covering it for 3 years straight now, almost every day, watching the progression of earthquakes, and there is a pattern. And the pattern is pressure transfer. It's wild. Much love, guys. Be safe. Hang in there.
Gotcha. Oh, this is great. It took a while for me to focus in on it, but I finally got it. I had it. Oh, there you are. Isn't that amazing? There you are again. Gonna center it and zoom in. Okay, it's kind of drifting off a little there. You know what? I'm just going to let it be. Got everything centered. It's about 8:05 Eastern Time in the United States. This is being taken right off the Gulf of Mexico in Sarasota, Florida. Today is October 17th and it is 8:07 p.m. And be sure to check out n5d.com for more pictures and videos of this UFO. Isn't that amazing? Okay, gotta adjust it a little. Now, in one of the still shots I had, you can clearly see what looks like a tetrahedron or Metatron's cube. You know what's happening right now as the Earth spins, this object appears to be setting, but it's just really the way the Earth is revolving. And I have to adjust the camera, so let's hope that we can keep the image. Thank you, universe. So once again, I'm using a Canon PowerShot. This UFO is, if you're looking at the sky, it's going to be to the left of Arcturus, to the right of Mercury and Saturn and Mars, and way off to this UFO to the left, which would be south, would be Venus. And I'm looking over at Venus, and it's shining brightly. It's beautiful tonight.
Well, there you have it, folks. What you just saw is not being shown on either Stellarium or the cell phone app Sky. I filmed this around 8 p.m. Eastern Time in Sarasota, Florida, near the Gulf of Mexico, with a Canon PowerShot camera. According to these different star maps, you will find Arcturus slightly to the north of this UFO, while Mercury, Saturn, and Mars are to the south of this anomaly. Venus, which is the brightest star shining tonight, was even further south from this UFO sighting. And along with Venus, you'll have Antares. So we've ruled out all of these planets and star systems. What do you think it is? Leave a comment below this video. That's it for now. This is Greg from in5d.com.
October 20th, 2013. I'm just going to stand here for a minute and let you watch. Oh, I just seen this one. Check this one out. This was one that was a chemtrail from earlier over in the other direction. It's blowing north-northeast. I'll zoom in just a little bit, let you see. This is very serious stuff, people. Please pay attention and take heed to it. The mist that's falling on me now, it's not rain. Take care.
Live, this is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today is October 20th, 2013. Here are your news updates for today. The Watchers watching the world. Cometary collisions as source of life on Earth. Alright. Not a lot of news, I guess. Breaking news. BreakingNews.com. Newark, New Jersey. Man killed in bowling alley may have been hit by bowling ball. That was 2 hours ago, coming out of the Star Ledger. Also, "56 active fires reported across New South Wales, Australia, 12 of them uncontained." Coming out of the News Comet headquarters. Heads up, lots of fires going on in Australia. Also, Hurricane Raymond is a Category 2 in the South Pacific. Around, where are they? South America, I guess. It's off the coast of South America. Oh. I saw it, but I don't see it now. But I saw that it's Hurricane Raymond is a Category 2. Alrighty then. Moving on. I'm going to attach a lot of news today. A lot of it I'll just attach it so you can see it. So, stay tuned and be prepared for anything. I'll see you tomorrow on the flip side.
October 20th, 2013. Guys, we're looking at a picture of Hailey'S Comet. This was taken back in 1986. Now, it has a 75-year close approach to the sun, and it's not a sun diver like Ison. It's called an NEO, or near-Earth object, I believe is how it's classified. But again, it's 75-year orbit. Here's some info on it. You can pause it, but it was the first known observation was 239 BC in the Chinese Chronicles. The written records go back to Babylon in a tablet in the British Museum, and it heralded the 1066 invasion of Britain by William the Conqueror. Here's some of the information on it. But they're saying the tail is 55 million miles long. Now, again, that would vary depending where it's where it's at in the orbit, the close approach to the sun, and then when it goes outside of Jupiter. Again, 75 years is a long time. Now, they're calling it a 9-mile wide nucleus here, but some of the newer estimates are 10 miles wide, and they're saying that's about 3 times larger than what they estimate the nucleus of Ison as. But it says as Hailey chugs through the solar system, it sheds material along its path. Earth plows through the debris trail, sweeping up everything in its path, and the Earth is moving fast. As it's not just the speed of this debris moving, but the speed of the Earth. But pause this, and I'll just put information up here for you guys to read. But tonight is the peak of the Orion meteor shower, and that is the debris trail of Hailey'S Comet. That's why I'm doing this. We go through it twice a year, guys. The aqueids in May, and then tonight is the peak. Now, we're going through it for a few days, but tonight's the peak in the early morning hours for this particular meteor shower. Here's some of the tips. You want to be forward-facing on the side of the Earth, which translates to the hours before dawn in your location. It says wrap up, get warm. Don't look directly at the radiant, which is now the Club of Orion. That's where they get their name. Look some distance away, and then you can start seeing your side vision. Here's some of the info. Again, I don't want to read everything in it. It's good to be able to read it, but you're looking at the diameter of the nucleus at 10 by 5 by 4 miles long. Then it's got your 76-year length of the year. That's what they call 1 year on. If you were on Hailey'S Comet, that's how they determine that. Length of the day is 2.2 to 7.4 Earth days. Again, this is just some information. And what's happening, guys, at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Central, and I think about 2 p.m., which is not long on the West Coast, the SLU Space Telescope over in the Canary Islands, and that group is going to host the event. Now, it's going to be a lot later there, of course, because it's getting early in the morning there. But here's some of the information: the length of the tail. Just depending on some observations, it'll get down to 22 million kilometers, up to, at the close approach, 55 million kilometers. See that? There's 50 million kilometers. It was the length during that time. This is one of the images of it. I think this may be in the infrared of just the inside rock there. But again, here's the SLU YouTube page. They also have a website, and I'll put the links to that. But they're going to have the video up again 5 p.m. Eastern. You can see the information there. 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2100 Universal Time. That's today. And what it's useful for, guys, is they're going through it now because it's early in the morning there, and it may not be clear here in the United States in the morning, so you may get a chance to observe it. Here's the JPL on Halley, and it's like I said, it goes back one of the oldest known comets, observed comets. But actually, you see the first first observations used was 1835, and 57,000 days of arc span data. But again, the JPL is listed. Now, if you go to Halley's Comet, there's 2 listed there, so make sure you're on the right one. But here you can see that the orbit does not bring it. It appears until I pull it up that it's close to the sun, but it's really not. It's quite some distance out. You see as it comes through between the orbits of Mercury and Venus. Now here you see that arc as it's above the ecliptic in the light blue. Those are the times. I'll pull this back up. You can see it comes between the orbit of Venus and Earth. But in the yellow line is 1 AU. Now the tail is 34 million miles long on the close approach of Halley's Comet. That's the short green line. The yellow line between the Earth and the Sun is 1 AU, which is really 92.955 miles long. I put it 93 to give you a rough estimate. But if the tail is at 1/3 the distance between the Earth and the Sun. Here you have the aqueids in May when it comes through that arc rising out of the ecliptic as the Earth passes through it. And on the right you see your Orion. We're going to be watching tonight. Now also I'll link to this website where they will bring in reports of the fireballs. That's what they call it, the latest worldwide meteorite reports on Lunar Meteorite Hunter site. And they give you maps. It gives you different information all the way through there to give you real-time updates as people report it. And there's some interesting information back from the last few days. You notice this is where they pulled the rock out of the lake in Russia. Some information there, that meteorite that we watched come in as we were supposed to be watching that, 2012 DA-14. But it's a heads up, guys. I'm going to watch it. Let me know what you see tonight. Remember, it's going to be in our early pre-dawn hours in the United States. But the event is just coming up here shortly. Heads up.
Something that just has constant energy around it. Vibrations. Look, let's see if this works.
Cool, hold on.
Yeah. It went high, the altitude.
mobile phones. My cheap Chinese slave-made goods. Come on, America, wake up. What are you doing? We're at Times Square. Hair extensions from executed Chinese prisoners, you don't care. Running down the field in an NFL football, you don't care. Body Works is going on right now. They're skinned Chinese prisoners. You go watch them fight. Oh, look at the human body.